Hello there, sardiners. It has been a while, and I'd like to apologize for that. But these videos just are kind of a small hobby, so they kind of just happen when they happen, and uh, and that's all right. So today, we'll just skip right to it. Today, we have, of course, sardines. We have wild selections sardines in olive oil. Now, these were given to me to review by a friend, which is why I felt inclined to do this video. This is special because Wild Selections is a very conscionable company they give back. Let's see, pull up on my device here. They have given 1,569,381 to the WWF, which is the World Wildlife Fund, so a conservation network. And 13 cents from the sale of each can supports their conservation efforts. So 13, as you see, the WWF symbol right there, the little panda. It's non-GMO certified, which personally I don't really care too much about. GMOs are fine. But is a certified sustainable seafood by the MSC, which I'm not quite sure what the MSC is. It has a little fish as a symbol, so we can assume that it has something to do with our scaly friends. Oh, look at that. I don't know if you can read that part. Trace the fish in this can. Huh. I might try doing that later and put it at the end of the video as a little tie-in there. Anyway, so as we know, well, as we may or may not know, sardines come in multiple types: herring, sprats, other types. In this case, we have sprats in the ingredients, and as every good can of sardines has, it is a very simple ingredient list of sprats, olive oil, salt, and natural smoke flavor. It doesn't say, this is a personal pet peeve, but if they don't say what they smoke it in, then I don't trust that it's not just liquid smoke. And I don't hate liquid smoke. I'm just tired of it. I'd rather just some good applewood smoke. If you disagree, the applewood smoke is the best kind. The door is right here behind me. Let's see, we got 180 calories. Pretty simple. As you know, a lot of fat, but it's all good. 13 grams, but that's all monosaturated. Very good for you, omega-3s. And this one in particular goes to 2025. So it's about a year longer than the other ones I have up in there, up in my drawer up there. I have a lot more. Trust me, we can make this last for a while. Gluten-free. So, as you see, it's just a plastic wrap. Just gonna open her up. Nothing too special about the can. It's just kind of your average, unfortunately not colored. So it's just a can, unfortunately. It's not like the Nuri where it was encased in brass, which was cool. I don't know if I mentioned that in that video, but that can I had was actually brass. I didn't know they tinned in brass. I thought it was just tin or aluminum. Not they use tin anymore though. They used tin a long time ago. Back when they first canned. So, as we all know, I don't think I need. If you need a demonstration of the technique of how to open a can, please refer to my Nuri videos, as I took special time to show how to do it there. And that is not time we will waste here. Here, we will simply try to get straight into the action. Yep. All right. Smells good. Initial reaction looks pretty good. As you can see, we have some mild breakage of the scales. That's not a big deal though. Mild breakage of the scales. Let's see, firmness. Feels pretty firm. I got a little bit of olive oil here on my computer. That's pretty unfortunate. I might have to take care of that here real quick. One moment. Sorry, I'm not good at video editing, meaning I don't video. As I was saying, I'm not good at video editing. So, unfortunately, we're trying to deal with it. And so, here we are. We'll take the first one out. Okay. Problems. Extremely tender to the point where it cannot support its own weight outside of the fork. Which isn't unexpected, but it's always nice when you get like a can, especially a can of Nuri or a can of King Oscar, and you can just put that whole darn thing right in your mouth, and it's just a good, solid, but not hard, tender piece of meat. And let's see how this goes. Yeah. It's extremely tender. It's extremely tender. Almost to the point where, I mean, this meat cannot support its own weight at all. It completely falls apart. That's being held on only by the spine, which I'm going to give release there. Flavor, pretty average. The smokiness is extremely light. Extremely light smoky flavor. It's so light. It's so light that I do not think that it's liquid smoke. The smoky flavor is so background that I'm very certain it's not liquid smoke. Because liquid smoke tends to really take over flavors. Especially if it's the only thing that you're putting in there. It is the only thing you will taste. And that is not the only thing I'm tasting here. I'll say this too. These aren't salty at all. These almost taste like they've been rinsed and that they were repacked in like in spring water. Like this oil, they say it's olive oil, and I mean, I'm not gonna perform libel here, but this is the most inconsequential and forgettable olive oil I've ever witnessed. It's definitely oil, but it sure will taste like olive oil. This is probably some. I don't mean to be rude to Wild Selections, but they could work on their choice of oils here. This oil tastes like water. It tastes like oily water, which is not ideal. I'm trying not to be too mean, but it's a very simple ingredient list. So the things that I'm going to have to tell you to work on are very small. And the amount of work you have to do to fix this oil is pretty high. That being said, I mean, it's a solid can of sardines. This, I think, however, these I think are more your salad sardines. I don't know if a lot of you do this. You put sardines in your salad, but I'd recommend you trying it. You should definitely try it. It takes a little bit getting used to, but once you get used to it, it's actually pretty nice. Yeah, this fish is really falling apart. Like here, I'll show you this. Hopefully I'm getting more on my computer. That is all just bones and meat. Just a mound of it that is just kind of amassed in the corner. And I'll be honest, it's not entirely out. Like I find the solid sardine much more appealing than this mound of bones and grossness. Look at that. Leaking oil everywhere. That's just nasty. No one wants to eat that. It might taste just the same as these other sardines. Tastes just the same. Feels just the same. But you don't want to see that. You want to see a bunch of nice little sprats waiting for you. Lovely little snack. Little addendum to other meals. Uh-oh. Battery's running low. Yeah. So, got a couple more here, but we don't need them. Eat them off camera. But the end result is an underwhelming pack of sardines. I'll be honest with you. I don't think these would be good in anything but maybe a salad. You can't really put these in a sandwich because they have no flavor. They have no flavor at all. Because the good thing about putting fish in water is the water doesn't suck as much flavor out as oil does. Excuse me. When you pack these in oil, they tend to diffuse flavors, which is why with all these other packs of like Nutty or the King Oscar with the jalapeno in it, it's always packed in oil. Always packed in oil because the oil diffuses the flavors. And when you pack just fish, it's always just the fish alone in water. And you do that because the water doesn't diffuse flavor. Oil does. And the oil diffuses flavors of whatever is inside the can, plus the flavor of itself, the oil. And this oil has no flavor. This oil tastes like water, but it has consistency of olive oil. So it is not very appetizing. There's nothing packed in this can except for the fish. And so what has happened is the flavor is just gone from these fish. I'm not quite sure where it went. But overall, I would say this. Wild Selections, sardines in olive oil, and maybe just Wild Selections as a brand, I would say pass. There's nothing good about these sardines. They're boring, they have no flavor, and they're not canned well. So, just mildly disappointing, but is what it is. They don't really pass any of the tests. They don't pass a taste test. They don't pass consistency test. They don't pass the ingredient integrity test. So, yeah, can't recommend it. But hopefully, the next can I can recommend. I'll see you next time.